Hi, welcome to Mike's Meals. Today I'm going to do a meal mix-up of a buffalo chicken. Alright, so the first step is we want to start chopping up our clean celery. Got a bunch of them. We want to have these pretty good chunks for the texture in our soup. So nice little cubes. That way, even after we cook it, it'll stay nice and crunchy for us. Okay, so now we've got the celery all chopped up. Next component is going to be a medium white onion. Let's get this chopped up, get all the scraps off of it. Toss those away. So these are going to be a little bit smaller than our celery. We don't want to have these parts too big. Okay, now we got all of our onions chopped up. We're just going to add those to our celery bowl, get them out of the way. That way we've got some room for the garlic. Alright. So I just need a few cloves of garlic. These are kind of small, so we'll probably use... Oh, there's a nice big one right there. We'll use that guy. He looks good. Squash him, get this extra stuff off of it, chop the tips off, and then we're going to just chop this up as small as we can. Nice little pieces. This will give us a good flavor. Okay, so now we got our pan done up. Gonna get the butter in there working. Probably about 3 tablespoons of butter because we got a lot of vegetables we're gonna be doing in here. So work it around, get it melted up, and then we'll toss in everything else. And then our garlic. I'm just going to mix that around, get the garlic in there, get everything coated in the butter. We're going to leave that on there for a while, get it softened up. Okay, so while we've got the vegetables sauteing, we're going to get the chicken breast set up here. We're going to do small cubes of these. That way they cook quickly. And that way we can have a lot of coating on them as opposed to really large pieces. So just cut them into little strips to begin with. Turn them, just do a few at a time here. Okay, so that's what we're all done. We've got the nice little cubes going. Just little pieces. We'll cook those up and get them sauced up. Okay, so at this point, you can see the onions are getting translucent, so we're looking good. What we're going to do here, we're going to add some salt, some pepper, and a little bit of flour. Do a little lap of salt. Get some pepper in there. And mix it around. And then also to this, we're going to add just about a 1/4 cup of flour. And we'll get that stirred in, get it incorporated. And this will help thicken up the soup. Since we're not going to be blending this up like a normal celery soup, that's going to help make it so it's not so watery. Okay, now it's been cooking for a little bit. We're going to go ahead and add 2 cups of chicken broth. Alright. We're going to mix this around, get the flour loosened up a little bit into the mixture. So once we have that well incorporated, we're going to switch it to high, bring it to a boil. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a bubble to our soup mixture here now. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 1 cup of heavy cream, just a little slowly, stirring and mixing. Okay. Alright, so now we've got all that in there. We're going to go ahead and put a cover on it. And we're going to have that medium-low, and that's going to cook probably about 20 minutes or so. While that's cooking, we're going to go over and start our chicken frying. Okay, so here's our pan for our chicken. Should be nice and hot, so we're going to add some olive oil in there. Once that get warmed up, get the chicken in there. So once it gets frying, we're going to want to make sure we keep it moving a little bit. That way the pieces stay separate. Because sometimes if you just leave them there, they'll cook into little blobs and it'll be a mess. We want those little cubes, that way we can cover them with sauce for when we put them in the soup later. Okay, so after the chicken's been cooking for a while, you can see it's going to have a lot of juice in there. So we're going to go ahead and drain that, and then we're going to return it to the pot here and get it cooked some more, because we want to have it so it's not too juicy, so that way the sauce is actually going to stick to it. Okay, so our chicken is pretty much done. This is what we're aiming for here. There's a little bit of browning on them. That way we know they're cooked through and they're not like wet or anything. They're not having the juice left over on them. So the brown is a good indication that they are done and ready to go. So once your chicken is done, we're going to add some blue cheese crumbles to our soup. This tub, I think, is an 8-ounce tub. So we're going to add about half of that. Just sprinkle it in. And we'll stir that around so it gets nice and melted in there and get that good flavor in there. Because the blue cheese is going to add a nice tanginess to it. And that's going to complete this portion of our soup. And next up, we're going to coat our chicken pieces with the buffalo and get them ready to add to the soup. Okay, so we've got our chicken done. The best way to coat the chicken and the easiest way is just to put them in a Tupperware. This works really well for normal chicken wings as well. Get your chicken in there. Just do a nice even coat over top. And we're just going to lid this up. Just give it a good shake. And when we are done, easy, nice and evenly coated. That's a super easy way to get these done. And now they're ready to add to our soup. Okay, so now we're going to plate up our soup. There's one scoop, it's got some nice chunks in there. It's nice and creamy. It's got the blue cheese in there. You want to leave it a little bit low because we're going to be adding the chicken to this, and it's going to raise it up, so don't fill it too high before you add the chicken in or you're going to make a mess. And we just get little spoons, just drop them on in there. And it's good to have some of the sauce in there as well. That's going to add to the flavor because we're going to mix that around. For a nice healthy serving of the chicken. And once you have all the chicken in there, just another little scoop of the soup over top, and you are done. There is the buffalo chicken soup, and it is delicious.